Welcome, guys. Welcome to another episode. Let's dive into very toxic relationships and what we can learn from them. Because honestly, the last relationship I've been in has been a pure disaster. Like, it was not toxic in like the obvious ways, but it was toxic. The thing that was like looking back, I know that I was not healthy either. Like, he mirrored back to me where I was toxic myself. And I think one thing that we underrate so much when it comes to like toxic traits is not being able to be by yourself and needing your partner continuously to feel a specific way. And that's like, if I'm honest with myself, like that's something I have not been good at in the past. And I always had the feeling of I needed to rely on my partner to be happy, to feel fulfilled, to feel loved whatsoever. And after this whole breakup, which was very out of the blue, very like it was just something for itself, truly, but it needed to crash because at that time I was in Vienna by myself working in an agency where thank God I had super nice work colleagues, so I was spending a lot of time with them. But at the same time, it truly forced me into being by myself. And I learned so much through it. And I think the biggest takeout out of all this was genuinely that whatever feeling you desire that your partner fulfills is something you can give yourself too. So if you're looking for the feeling of love, for example, it's always easy if you have, for example, we have the desire to cuddle with someone, which I know, like, it's great, it's amazing. And to substitute that with something else, like, I kind of get why some people are like, oh my God, I need exactly that. But it's easier if you ask yourself, like, why do you need that? Why do you feel like you need that comfort from your partner right now? And then be very specific of what kind of emotion you're looking for. So if it's the feeling of being loved, for example, then if you know that, it's pretty easy because then you can just think to yourself, okay, how can I feel loved? What kind of actions can I take? What can I do to feel that way too? And in my case, it could be something as simple as getting a cup of hot chocolate, which just has this like loving, comforting feeling. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very simple. It doesn't have to be something massive. I mean, I'm just thinking it could also be something more which is leaning towards self-love activities that are like very classic, like doing some self-care, having a day by yourself and just like taking care of yourself, however that looks like. But I think we're sometimes just overcomplicating it. Like, it doesn't have to be this massive activity that you're doing. It can just be something as simple as making hot chocolate for yourself, just sitting down, really like leaning into the feeling that you're having while you're drinking the hot chocolate, and then you're just gonna have a similar feeling. And yeah, that's just something I genuinely think it's so underrated. Like, learning to be on your own is like it's like a superpower, honestly. I kind of feel like if you're comfortable being by yourself, what else do you need? Truly. Like, something I've been learning about being on my own too is like you are never truly on your own. The times that I've been in a coffee shop by myself, just reading my book and whatsoever, and then people coming up to me asking me what I'm reading, or I'm me just having like a super sweet encounter with my barista, for example, is already a way of interacting with people and makes me feel less alone, or not even feel less alone, but gives me the feeling of connection. And it only takes me to step outside with the confidence of being like, okay, I'm by myself now and that's okay. And I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to lean into the experience and I'm going to allow myself to be open to what is going to happen. Because funny enough, like when you're by yourself, I feel like magic can truly unfold. Like that's at least how it has always been feeling for me. It's like when I'm by myself and I'm going outside and I'm doing something, it really opens so many doors to like whatever can happen. Because, like, think about it. When you're with somebody else, you can, I don't know, you kind of have a destination already set. You're probably walking the same path as always because you're already thinking of, like, yeah, let me be there in like 15 minutes. I know this path takes me 10 minutes and whatsoever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's this very precise way of going through your day when you're meeting somebody else. But if you're on your own, you're very flexible. Like, you could just, I don't know, pass a coffee shop and then just feel like, oh, I kind of have this feeling of going inside, like, kind of have the feeling of that I need to be there. And I don't know. For example, like you might meet someone super cool there just because you followed your feeling of, oh, I need to be in this specific coffee shop today. And I kind of feel like that's also where synchronicities are more easily able to manifest. And like, you know, like the divine can bring very specific things into your life because you're by yourself and you're just more able to receive specific guidance or like have a feeling about places rather than like leaning on to the other person that you're with and then, you know, like just being influenced by their energy too. So yeah, and that's why like I'm so deeply grateful that I've been going through this heartbreak or like breakup, however you want to call it. It has been both. But yeah, I've been very grateful for it because I learned so much. And I think like really the biggest thing was learning to be by myself and like being fulfilled and not feel lonely. And like, don't get me wrong, I think if you're on the journey where you're learning to be by yourself, it can feel lonely and that's okay. And it's also okay if you have found your solitude and sometimes you feel lonely. Like that's normal and it's okay. And I think it also just comes in phases. But once you learn to appreciate your own company, you can, I don't know, you can get to know yourself so much better than if you are with people. Because when you're with people, you're always a different version. I mean, for me, sometimes I'm slipping into that I'm maybe not fully speaking my truth when I'm around specific people or I'm leaning into specific topics when I'm with specific people. And that doesn't happen when I'm by myself. Like, I'm just who I am. And it really helps you to understand who you are authentically and not with other people around you. So, yeah, and that's why I think it's so tremendously important to have like solo dates with yourself. Probably once a week would be great if you can manage it. I've been reading The Artist Way, and I don't know if you're familiar with this book. Great book for artists or whatever creative industry you're in. I love it. I can highly recommend it. And she's also recommending doing a artist date with yourself once a week and it's also by yourself. And I kind of feel like having the ritual of like every week being by yourself is so powerful because it always brings you home. If you ever feel like you're disconnected from home, it is because you have been around too many people. You have been observing too much energy of others and you don't feel grounded within yourself anymore. And that's every time when I feel like, damn, I don't feel like home. This is too much. Like everything feels weird and I don't know who I am anymore. It's because I've been taking in a lot of energy from other people. And that's why it's so important to have like once a week, just be with yourself and yeah, have some fun on your own. And yeah, I think this is truly the most important thing you can do for yourself is be by yourself. And I think there's like easy ways and tricks to like start doing this. I kind of feel like if you're just listening to your favorite music and just step outside with your headphones and maybe go into a coffee shop that you already know, it makes it a little easier because it's more predictable rather than going somewhere where you have never been before. And I don't know, if you have just music that brings you comfort, it already brings you into a different energy and you kind of feel like, oh yeah, this is nice. Like I like this vibe, you know? It's bringing, it kind of is distracting you a little bit too, that you're by yourself rather than, you know, like making it this, oh my God, I need to be by myself. Like I cannot, you know what I mean? I cannot listen to music and I need to make this like a very rigid thing because I have to be by myself fully. Like, I mean, if you're experienced being by yourself person like I am, then I think you don't need the music anymore because like that's like being by myself feels very normal. It doesn't really feel like something that I need to practice anymore. But what did help me in the beginning was listening to music and going to places I already knew. And then, I mean, you can slowly upgrade, like maybe take the music away and then, you know, go into the same coffee shop or change the coffee shop, stick with the music, you know, like you can just flow with it. Or I don't know, it could be something as easy as just, you know, getting ice cream by yourself and just sitting somewhere, enjoying your ice cream and just letting that be your experience. And yeah, this is just, I don't know, I can highly recommend it. Like, that's like so important to learn this, especially if you're aiming for a healthy relationship. It helps you detach too. Like, I don't know, I've been dating this guy after the relationship I've been in, and I mean, it has been chaotic and like whatever, dumbass situationship. The thing though was that I was able to choose to step into unconditional love. And I mean, that's like a completely different topic. And I mean, I did fell, I think is the right word. Yeah. Head over heels for this guy and whatever. The thing though that I noticed was that I was very detached. I was detached. Like it didn't bother me that he wouldn't text me back. It didn't bother me when we hadn't contact or we been in no contact for a week or two. Like, it's toxic again and has been bullshit. Don't ask me about the whole thing. I might talk about it another time. But the thing though is that I just recognize that from me being so comfortable being on my own really put me in this place of self-confidence and at the same time not requiring something from somebody else. I didn't feel attached. Like, I, of course, wanted to see him. Of course, wished it would have worked out differently. But I mean, that's just a whole different story. But the thing is, though, like, I can just really tell that it's a major difference. And like, even if something happened where I was like, damn, I would love comfort right now, I wish he was here with me, I was truly able to think and like, okay, how can I give that feeling to myself right now? How can I be there for myself and I don't need this other person for it? And I can really tell that even though he wasn't healthy, and I don't want to be a victim in this whole thing. Like, he mirrored something back to me that I needed, and I learned a lot from him. Especially learning to love someone unconditionally is like the craziest thing that I have ever experienced. But like, taking that out aside and like taking that away, that this situation wasn't healthy either, I could still tell that how I interacted in this whole scenario was so much more healthy than in my last relationship. And that's what I mean. It's like being happy on your own, or at least enjoying your own company, and then mixing that with being able to fulfill your own desires makes you so much more healthy and so powerful at the same time. So I highly recommend you learning this because it sets you free and it's so healthy and so great when you're in a relationship, or you're, I don't know, anytime. I think either if you are already in a relationship, or you're dating or you're not dating. It's just really healthy to, yeah, be by yourself in solitude. But yeah, I kind of lost my point. I think I've been saying the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I don't know. To this other thing, I kind of feel like, I don't know, like loving someone unconditionally is really like a next level thing that I have never experienced. But was something like truly that helped me too was like choosing to, for me, choosing to fall in love with him anyways, even though like he acted in a way that I didn't fully agree with. I just saw him as who he truly was. And because of that, I just chose that he deserves love anyways and that I'm gonna love him anyways. And honestly, like even though this whole thing ended so abruptly and so weird, and it has just also been, I would say, quite toxic, yeah. Less toxic, but still toxic. Um, or maybe just unhealthy. Let's just label this unhealthy. Like it doesn't always have to be toxic. It has not been. Like he has been very nice. He has been really nice and really good to me. But just like the whole thing around it has just been complete BS. So whatever. I'm just gonna say emotionally unavailable and avoidant attachment style. And you're probably gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, other than that, I think it's like such a powerful thing to learn to love someone unconditionally and then, just like being completely, it's not about being completely forgiving. I think it's more about seeing their actions and then still choosing that they deserve love, but still setting boundaries about it, but not being like, oh, you have to act in this and this way, and otherwise you're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, because that's toxic again. Like, that's very toxic to say, like, you have to act a specific way for me to love you. But if you just choose, like, hey, I'm just gonna love them for who they truly are, and then I'm separating how they're acting from them as a person, is a completely different way. And I kind of feel like that's why when it all separated again, I was still in a lot of love for him because I didn't tie it to his actions. And I kind of knew that he was not really capable of acting differently, and that was just divine intervention and divine protection, that we're just not meant to be together, and that's completely okay too. I mean, it does suck, like, don't get me wrong, but it was just not meant to be. And how am I supposed to change that? Like, I can't. I can only surrender to what is. And yeah. But I feel like that's like the next thing then. After you have learned to be by yourself and like be happy with your own company, and then after that, learning to give yourself the feelings that you desire from others. And then I kind of feel like the next thing would be then learning to love unconditionally and just learning to love just for the sake of loving rather than because of who somebody is and what they do and whatsoever, and just see their rawness and see their raw soul and just love that rather than anything else. I kind of feel like, especially for my journey and that I have been on, it kind of feels like these have been the healthy steps that I needed to be the healthy version that I am today. And not to say that I'm perfect, and not to say that I mean, probably I have toxic traits too. Probably there are things about me that, don't make me the healthiest partner ever, but that's okay, and I'm still learning too. But I kind of feel like these things are like, have been, yeah, I would say the most tremendous things that I've learned. And yeah, I'm just very grateful for it, very happy about it. Even though heartbreaks suck and breakups are just like, ugh. But it's cracking us open. It's cracking us open, and that's completely fine too. So, yeah, that's just my outtake for this day. So, love you guys. See you soon. A lot of